Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing a quick review of this microphone. This is the Rode Procaster, and it is a dynamic microphone that Rode came out with a few years ago. I don't know exactly when. I have it somewhere on the screen, that I personally didn't like at the beginning and then I grew to love. This microphone will set you back around $230 if you decide to buy it brand new from Amazon. I'll have some links in the description if you do decide to buy from there. I'll really appreciate it. When it comes to the build quality of this microphone, I don't know if you can tell just by looking at it. I'm probably gonna have some B-rolls. This microphone is built like a tank. The build quality is really good. It's insane. It is made completely out of metal. There is a little grill at the top, but it has zero give to it. There is a built-in internal pop filter below the grill, so it is completely safe for people who don't have a lot of experience, although I would recommend that you buy an external windshield. It helps a lot with this microphone. The pops on it, the pops are still going to be visible. However, the pops are a lot less visible. So when it comes to the build quality, this is a beautifully built microphone, and you're gonna face no issues. When it comes to how it handles bumps, it's okay. It's not great. I think there is a built-in shock mount, although I am kind of cheating by using an external shock mount, so take this test with a grain of salt, because I kind of lost the original little mount on it. It doesn't come with any kind of shock mount like this. It's like a $2 shock mount. I would recommend it. It fits pretty good and it's very useful. Anyway, that out of the way, it's built very well and I like it a lot for that. However, keep in mind that if you want to get something that is built this well, there is a caveat. That caveat being that you are going to need to invest in a good microphone stand. Not every microphone stand can hold this microphone. Some options from Fifine, Neewer, Enogear, some of these might not work. You need something tough. Now you can also get the official Rode PSA 1 microphone stand, but that one's going to cost you around $100, just plenty of money. Now back to the microphone itself. So build quality, great. What about the sound quality? See, when I first got this microphone, as I said, I didn't really enjoy the sound. I thought that it sounded too dull and just undetailed and just not clear or not great. And some of that hasn't changed, but the thing that really made me change my mind is this, believe it or not. This piece of windshield, which officially belongs to the Shure SM7B, sounded really good on this microphone. It gave me enough distance and it forced enough distance from me to the capsule such that I can talk to it comfortably and also retain a very good sound and also kind of isolate a little bit more of the sound on top of the fact that it's a condenser, because the foam kind of traps the sound inside in a way. If I'm able to describe the sound, I'm gonna call it a little bit warm. It doesn't reach the very bottom of the sub bass, I would not say. However, the top bass, the mid bass on it is quite good. It's not as smooth as the SM7B, however, I would still highly recommend it. However, when it comes to the bass, you're gonna face no issues, and with a little bit of high pass filtering, it's gonna be quite good. It still sounds a lot fuller than the pod mic, so that's a great thing in my opinion. The mids on it sound okay. They don't sound very great, and I noticed that because I tried to record some songs and some voiceovers on this microphone, and I found that the mids are a little bit skewed in a way. It's hard to describe. It's not that they're recessed, but they're a little bit less exciting and a little bit less workable or natural on this microphone, which is perfectly fine. The top end, as you would expect from a broadcast centered microphone, good. They're not that sharp, they're not that tacky, but they're also not very smooth. So this is not my top option of a microphone if it were me, but for budget-oriented people and for people who enjoy the broadcast sound, the smooth, somewhat smooth top-end sound, this microphone does that very, very well, and it also responds to EQ fairly well as well in the top and the bottom region. The mids on it, they don't respond that well, or maybe I just don't know how to EQ things properly. I will take some blame for myself. However, if we're being objective here, the sound of this microphone is warm, it's fuller than the pod mic, but not as smooth as the SM7B, so the price tag kind of justifies itself in the middle. Although I would like to say that I wish the capsule on this microphone was a little bit bigger, because I know that it's a dynamic microphone, but it is just a little too sensitive to being spoken from the front, and that means that it's slightly unforgiving if you're in a podcast situation and you want to record using this microphone, but the guest may not have a lot of experience using microphones like these. Now, there's many ways to make it work, but that's just a statement of my own. The microphone is also fairly gain hungry. I don't know if it's as gain hungry as the pod mic, so I just looked it up to make sure that my information is correct, and yes, it needs about as much gain as the Rode pod mic and a little bit less than the SM7B. The SM7B requiring around 60 decibels and this one requiring around 56 decibels. decibels. Now, all dynamic microphones need a lot of gain, but you really want to get a good interface that has at least 60 decibels or more if you want to be able to power this thing very well without worrying too much about the self noise that the microphone produces. Now, the background rejection on this microphone isn't really needed to be mentioned. It is a dynamic microphone and it's a Rode dynamic microphone at it, so you should be good. It shouldn't be a problem. Now, here are some few points that I just wanted to mention that I noticed and that are my own take because this is my review. This microphone, like the pod mic, is pretty damn good sounding. However, it is not very versatile. Microphones like the Shure SM57, SM58, SM7B, and a few other options might work for many applications, including instruments, vocals, voiceovers, and also podcasting. This microphone has a very broadcast-centered sound, which is not a bad thing, but it also does mean that if you're planning to get a one-for-all microphone, this is definitely not that microphone for it. Now, not to say that it isn't powerful, it isn't tough, it is not good sounding, it is, but for the application or for the use case of it being very versatile, I would not put it in that mark because the color, the sound is fairly colored and it leaves a little bit to be desired in some regions. And so the people that I would recommend this microphone to are content creators. Definitely would recommend this microphone to those guys, especially if you want to be doing some kind of story reading, you want to do some kind of narration voiceover, and you have a space like mine that is not very treated. You can easily use this microphone and get away with very good results, but you will need to do some post-production to smooth the S's, to add some compression, and I don't need to talk about these things. For live streamers, it's a beautiful microphone. For podcasting, it's a lovely, lovely, lovely microphone that works well with most kinds of voices. I would not recommend this. For singing, it can sound a little bit close, a little bit dull. It doesn't deliver enough detail, and the capsule isn't big enough, in my opinion. And if you're also obviously using this for an application that requires a condenser, this is not the mic. Also, if you want something that is a little bit small, a little bit more, I don't know how to describe it, but something more portable, this is obviously not that. This is a behemoth. This is a giant. Anyway, that's going to be my short review of this microphone. I'm very sorry for not uploading much. I am going through a bunch of stuff and I say this every video, so I'm going to stop explaining it. That said, this is going to be my review of this mic. I hope you liked it. If you decide to buy this microphone, there's going to be a link in the description below. It's going to help me out a ton. Please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye.